know that feeling you get when you have to have a tough conversation with a parent, deliver critical feedback to a staff member, or unite a divided team? That knot in your stomach that says, I'm a great educator, but am I communicating this the right way? I have been there. Year after year, I'd write into my growth plan different ways, connection, crucial conversations, difficult people, conflict resolution, same struggle, different words. I'm Crystal Atkinson, and after more than 20 years teaching and leading in public education, I've cracked the code on communication skills that matter most, and I'm sharing them all with you. Whether you're dealing with resistant staff, anxious parents, or complex community dynamics, this podcast will give you the strategies and confidence to handle it all. Together, we'll explore how to connect with the people who challenge you most, inspire your team to do their best work, and navigate conflict without losing sleep. Because here is what I've learned. Leadership isn't just about vision and strategy. It's about the conversations that happen every single day. And those conversations, they can be taught, practiced, and mastered. Welcome to Vibrant Leadership for Educational Leaders. Let's transform the way you communicate. In this episode, thank you for coming back. We are going to uncover 4 dominant styles of communication, what to look for, and how to plan on our responses with each one of these styles. When I was a classroom teacher, I loved the spicy students. Looking for the human behind the spice, I was just really effective at it. And without realizing it, I figured out who my straight shooters were, who I needed to plant an idea with and then give it time to germinate, who needed a roadmap and some extra information, and who I needed to talk to about their personal life long before they would settle and get started. Do you have any of those kids in your classrooms or walking the halls of your schools? I bet you do. Spoiler alert, those kids grow up to be adults, and they're sitting in your staff meetings and they're teaching the classes in your buildings. So let's talk about them. This is not a new concept. This is not a new topic. In fact, psychologists were talking about different personality styles and communication styles way back in the time of the ancient Rome and Greek people. In the early 1900s, psychologists took lots of interest, and we started to see in the 1900s different theories emerge. You could look at the Myers-Briggs profile, you could look at DISC profile, you could look at true colors. There are several different styles out there. At the end of the day, they all agree there are 4 pretty dominant styles. Now, I personally am trained in DISC, and so that's kind of the approach I take. I really love to look at what motivates you? What motivates my staff and the parents and the students? And then what are their fears? What holds them back? What are their blind spots? So today, let's talk about these 4 different groups of people, knowing that you and me also fall into these 4 categories. Some of them will be more dominant, some will be less dominant, and it may even change based on the situation we're in. So we're going to start with our direct, spicy, I'm going to call them direct Davids or direct Debbies, if you will. Our direct people, those are the ones who generally we look at and say, oh, they're a leader. And why do we say that? Because they make decisions well, they make them fast, they're not afraid of conflict, they will speak up in any type of situation, and they get to the point really, really quickly. So when you have things to do, these are the people that get stuff done. We need those people, right? That is how we can keep our building still running. Okay? With those people, you may be one of them. You come into a room and a teacher says, is there any budget for this? And your reply is no. And the reason your reply is no is because you're thinking in the back of your mind, goodness, we've already bought all of these things and we already have all of these resources in place. Why are you asking for money? If you pause for a moment and realize that, oh jeepers, that's a little bit off-putting to the teacher who just received it. then we can take another approach. Okay. Those teachers who come into the meeting and they're like, nope, that's not possible, or yep, we need to do this, or they state their opinion really quickly. Those are our direct people. We need them. The second major category of people are our bubbly, friendly. They like run the school spirit days. They're friends with everybody. They know everybody's birthday. They know how you're connected. They know your second cousin. They know that your child lost a tooth last night and your other kid got a goal at soccer. They are the people on your staff, if you will. They are really important to have really good energy and to keep morale boosted. Okay. Those energy people, they're on the go all the time. But have you ever noticed that sometimes they're late for things? They're late for meetings. They're late for deadlines. They forget about things. They generally have 52 things on the go at any given time, and they have a hard time just pausing. Those people play a really important part, but if you're one of them, you need to have some good strategies in place. And if that's the person you're dealing with, we need to connect with that human prior to getting down to business, because connection is really important to them. The third category of people are our steady eddies. These are the people who they've got all the spirit gear. They've likely worked in the same school for many, many, many years, if not their entire career, because they don't like change. They don't like to go with new resources. They probably don't change up their lesson plans too frequently. They like things. They like where they're at. They like predictable. They like steady. They are feel-good team players. They are the teacher you want on staff. They are the teacher you want in a planning group because they make everyone feel welcome. They make everybody feel good about who they are and what they're doing. And if you're in education, you likely have the vast majority of your staff are going to fall into that category, because teaching education is a human service field. So it generally draws those people. Our category 4, these are ones that are like our quality control people. They make sure that whatever we do is done well, it's done perfectly, there's no margin of error. They've got all the spreadsheets. They probably are the person who oversees all the data in your school. They're really good at details. They're also really good at asking lots of questions, which drives people crazy. They're needed. We need them. They slow us down. Sometimes, though, these people can stop progress altogether. So it's really important first to figure out, is this person needing to get to the point? Is this person wanting to connect as a human first? Is this person really just comfortable with the way things have always been? Or does this person like a lot of detail? So first pause, consider, which one do you think you mostly fall into the category? And then we're going to come up with some strategies. Okay, now that you have determined what style you most likely fall into mostly, knowing that we all change and it really does depend on the context as to which category we lean into the most, consider your staff or your teachers when you approach them. If you know they're direct, you need to get to the point. With our direct people, they're not interested in idle talk, in conversation just for the sake of conversation. They're not small talk people. They want to get to the point. And you're going to know right away, because when you say to them, "Hi, Mrs. Atkinson, how are you today?" Their reply is going to be, "Good. About that data, did you want that in a Microsoft Word or do you prefer Google?" Okay, they're not interested in talking about their night. They want to know about the job. Go to where the receiver is. Remember, communication is for the receiver. So we really need to do our best to match their style so that they can interpret what we're saying with as much accuracy as possible. If there's somebody who are really excited. They like to talk about a lot. You need to consider a few things. You need to give them time first to talk. They need that time. You need to connect with them as a human being first and not worry about getting to the point, because you're going to get there. However, with our excited people, they can get off task and it can be really hard to bring them back. So we need boundaries. If they have lots of ideas, invite them, but again, boundary. So I love that you have so many ideas about this. How about you come up with your top 3 questions or your top 3 solutions and share those with me? That way, if you were to say, how about you email me back your thoughts? They're going to send you pages and pages. You don't want that. You want to know top 3. That really goes well for our people who are in that last category and they're really compliant and they like detail. They also can get carried away with details. So you want to give them short amount of space to reply. The last group we want to consider is that group number 3 that are really just steady people and they don't like change. When you know change is coming, you need to give them as much notice as you possibly can. So with those people, if you know there's an assembly coming, if you know there's a planned safety drill, if you know there is a requirement coming from central office, communicate that as soon as you possibly can. These people do not like change. Their lesson plans are done. Their day timer is filled out. It's probably nice and pretty too. Give them notice. That is respectful of those people. And again, most people in education really fall in that steady category. They've entered school and they've never left. They love it. They love teaching. They love learning. And they need to be prepared when there's change coming. Okay, so those are our 4 main categories. Okay, so as a review, what are the 4 main styles that you and your staff and your teachers and your students will fall into? Style number 1, they are direct. They want to the point. They want you to be decisive. They want you to make your call and stick to it. They want you to have answers. So if you don't have the answer, let them know when you will have the answer, and then make sure you follow up when you tell them you're going to follow up. Your fun, energetic, talkative staff members, they need relationships. You need to make sure that relationship is cared for before you get to the task, or they're going to think you are cold and insensitive. Give them time to talk, but give them parameters or they won't stop. And you also have to help keep them focused because they are going to be everywhere. Third category are steady eddies. These are our people who don't like change. They are wonderful team players. They love to be a part of the team. So we need to make sure that we give them lots of notice. We need to hear them out. We need to make sure they understood or understand that they are cared for, that you connect with them as a human first before you get to business. And then that last category, who are also those task people, same as our dominants, but they like information. They may drive you crazy from all the questions they're going to ask. And you probably drive others crazy if you ask lots of questions. We need these people because they are quality control. They make sure that we haven't skipped steps. They make sure we've looked at every topic from every angle. So be sure to give them space to ask questions. When they come in with too many questions and too many roadblocks, yeah, but, give them parameters. So again, you can say to them, what are your top 3 concerns or questions that we need to address? And what are some potential solutions to those problems? It's really important that we train the staff who are resistors to come to us with solutions as well as the problems. We absolutely need them to point out the problems. That's really important. It helps us do our job well. We also need solutions from different people. So those are the 4 styles. I'd love to know which one you think you fall into and which are the trickiest for you to navigate. Is it different between your students, their parents or guardians, and staff? I'd love to know that as well. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me wherever you are on social media. You can find me LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Instagram is at vibrant_leadership. Crystal Atkinson. You can find me anywhere else. Be sure to follow, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends so that we can help all school leaders and potential school leaders increase their capacity and confidence so that they can navigate conversations and communications effectively and with confidence. Go make today amazing. Your work truly makes a difference.